that game in 2020.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Shanig, man. Fuck with ASAP Sports Network, man. Tune in, stay logged in, and stay mouthed in. You dig? Yuck mouth. Yada da. Boy!
Yeah, check this out, man. It's your boy Young Dro. I'm in the building with ASAP Sports, man. If you ain't here, you ain't nowhere, man. As soon as possible, get here. You dig?
Wow. What a week of NFL Week 2. It was a very crazy week, and some games, it's not even over. Anyway, welcome to the show. This is your host, Nate the Great, and your co-host, Cole the Turner on the show. Sports status 9/19, September 19th. Cole, how are things going down there in Texas?
Hell yeah.
I know why you're excited. And I'll talk. We'll talk about that when we talk about that. Let's just get into the first topic. We're gonna go ahead and break down every single game for NFL. The Monday Night Football game last week, not the one that's going on right now, but last week between the Broncos and the Seahawks. Go through, cover the Thursday night games and yesterday's games as well. Give you some live updates to what's going on right now. And then second part of the show, give some predictions for NFL Week 3, Thursday Night Football, and Sunday as we go into the final hour. Well, final segment, talk about BYU and then talk about TCU as they're going through their football season. So, to start this off, Monday Night Football. Like I said, I've been telling everybody this. I was wrong about the game, but I had been telling people that this game between the Broncos and the Seahawks was going to be very close. The part I was wrong is who came out. Now, this didn't surprise me at all, except for who came out and won. Nathaniel Hackett is a brand new first-time head coach. This was the first NFL game that he head coached. The Broncos starters did not play this last season. I mean, this during this preseason, Broncos starters didn't play. You're going into Seattle. Seattle's defense knows Russ. Pete Carroll knows Russ because that is who Russell Wilson played for. Pete Carroll even came out in press conference and says, all you have to do is force Russell Wilson to go onto the left side, his left side. That's where he struggles. If he goes onto the right side of the field, he can throw deep passes, and all goes out fine for Denver. Not for everybody else who's playing Denver, but all goes out fine. Final score of this game was off of a rookie mistake, and that is just to say the least of it. Coaching during this game was terrible. It was embarrassing, and you had to end the game off of a 64-yard field goal attempt. I get that he's a rookie, but man, I've never coached an NFL game before. With the exception of, like, kindergarten, 4-year-old kids. I haven't even coached a football game before. I've done it to like 4-year-old kids when I was an 8-year-old. But I haven't coached an NFL game before. I haven't coached a football game before. And I know that was a terrible move. Everybody knew, and he should have, because he was an offensive coordinator. Some of his decisions was just crazy. Cole, I'm going to let you get your thoughts real quick.
I actually was looking this game up on ESPN as I was also paying attention to the Cowboys game. I was like, what in the world? Russell Wilson? He just had a bad night, honestly, if anything.
I don't agree with that. I don't. How in the world can you say that he had a bad night and still lead? He was still third in the league with passing yards.
But even then, especially this season has been more competitive recently than the last 2 seasons. This season
was competitive. I can agree with that.
So you're going to have competitive games, and I think that's what happened with Seattle and Geno Smith as well. Those two decided to be competitive against each other.
And they need to be much better in the red zone. Offensively speaking. They need to be much better in the red zone.
Can I just give a props to Geno Smith?
Yes, go ahead.
I think Geno Smith is going to become that little underrated quarterback, and I think he's just going to get unnoticed.
Even after
by a lot of people.
Even after the 49ers game?
Yep.
Okay, yes, he had a great game against Denver. Don't get me wrong. He had a great game against Denver. But that was just one game, and the next week
he has all season improved, especially since this is his first year completely starting. I think it was a few years ago. I think it was last season, but Smith only started one game, and he did really well that game.
I think Geno Smith started 4. Yeah, he started 4 because Russell Wilson had a thumb injury.
I forgot which 4 there was, but I bet on one of them. And I was okay. Geno Smith is going to hit. I had a feeling, and it hit within the end of the first half. So that's something to think about.
John, we got a comment from John Suggs. Says Jerry made Russell Wilson's numbers look better than what they were in week 1. This past weekend looked like normal Russell Wilson, 14-31. I get that, but out of all Denver Bronco quarterbacks, he still ended up having the best. When it came to passing yards, he still managed to break Denver's record for the most passing yards in their as a Broncos debut. And he had like 340 that game. But let's go into the Texans game when we go into the Texans game. Week 2, sticking into the AFC West, Thursday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs played against the Los Angeles Chargers. Cole, I'm going to let you go first for one reason.
I honestly did not pay attention to that game at all.
What did you and Logan say when I said that this is going to be close, a very, very close game?
I honestly forgot.
You and Logan both thought I said that you and Logan both thought that I was you all were both, I don't know how to put this. I don't want to say you were laughing, but you guys thought I was crazy for that. And I was Right. I can't say that for many Week 2 games.
You might want to put Jong Sug's comment on the highlight.
Refs saved Kansas City that game.
I agree.
I didn't see much of it, so I can't really answer that question. But it was still close. Very, very close. In fact, Chargers just stomped them in the first half. It was very one-sided for the first 2 quarters. Even though Chiefs did score an early touchdown to make this game seem somewhat competitive, it was one-sided for most of the first half. All right, next up is next up for Week 2, going into the Sunday night games. First game I got wrong. New England Patriots ended up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-14.
Who did I pick on that one?
I think you picked New England. I think that was one you got right. Again, we're probably going to write these down so that we can remember these for next week.
Yeah, I have the notepad out and ready for.
Yeah. I think you did pick New England to beat Pittsburgh. And I was wrong. Logan was wrong too. But you picked New England to beat Pittsburgh, so got to give you props for that. What were your thoughts like as you were making these predictions?
I was just like, I trust my gut. I am a bettor, so.
Okay.
I follow the money.
Makes sense. Okay.
I follow the money.
So I'm going to give you one quick stat real quick, and I didn't know this stat heading into this game. Apparently, heading into this game, Bill Belichick, and still heading in after this game, Bill Belichick is undefeated in Week 2 following a loss.
I don't know. Bill Belichick is especially struggling without Tom Brady.
That's true. But still, Bill Belichick is undefeated in Week 2 when Week 1 was a loss. And in Week 1, he's normally good at winning Week 1 matchups, but there's been 5 times in his career where he's lost a Week 1 matchup.
Don't forget that Bill Belichick actually played the Dolphins.
Yes.
On Week 1. So there's a curse on the Patriots for that.
The final score of this game was 17-14. Overall, just thoughts of the game. Mac Jones had 1 interception. This game really was, I think it was the definition of game managed. New England outscores them in passing yards. Nelson Aguilar led the game in receiving yards with 110, 6 carries. He also had the only touchdown in this game. My question is, where was Devontae Parker? Where was Devontae Parker, the guy they brought in from Miami? The guy that I said was probably going to lead the season in passing yards for the Patriots and passing touchdowns for the Patriots. And yet
no idea.
He didn't even get a single carry.
All I hear are cricket noise from Patriots fans.
He didn't even get a single carry. I'll talk about the Colts and the Vikings in a little bit.
Give me the Colts versus the Jaguars.
Yes, but I'll talk about that in a second. No, I mean Colts and Vikings because John Suggs had a comment. So next up, is the New York Giants versus the Carolina Panthers. Logan,
what an insanely close game.
That was close. That was close.
The Giants got lucky.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
Can we talk about the Buccaneers versus the Saints?
Yeah, that's 2 games. That's 3 games. The next 3 games. You're three games ahead, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Giants beat the Carolina Panthers. I don't have much to say, but this was one of the games where I was right. We were different on this game. We were very different on this game.
Who did I pick?
A lot of games. You picked Carolina. I picked New York. I think, to be honest, Logan and I actually were – there were a few that we got different, but there were – Logan and I had closer games. I had more games in common with Logan than I did with –
I definitely had a better record this week.
I had a terrible record, but I historically have had a terrible record for week 2. I don't have much to say other than
John Suggs says Giants defense is actually underrated.
I agree.
Sorry, Mr. Suggs, but I think the Cowboys defense is just a little bit better, if not one of the best in the NFC.
I don't, but I'll talk about that in a second. I think the Giants overall has improved a lot with their new head coaching staff. I really like the hire by the GM and the coach. Baker Mayfield threw 1 touchdown in this game. This game was very back and forth. I loved this game. Next up is another game. You got it right, and I got wrong. The New York Jets beat the Cleveland Browns.
I called it left and right.
31-30. Okay, what's your thoughts on this game?
I called it like I said. I knew the Jets were going to win.
I just really like Cleveland's performance against Carolina. And now they just lost to
the other team in New York that we don't talk about. Essentially.
All right. Now,
honestly, John Suggs, you may be right, but we'll get to that in a minute.
No, actually, John, you were not right. There is one person that got that game right.
Me?
No, it wasn't you. It was Logan.
Damn it.
But that's actually not this next game, but the game after. This next game is the Indianapolis Colts, only team in the NFL that's actually...
I got that one wrong.
Now that game, okay. Colt, I'm going to just tease you for a quick second.
I didn't even really care, honestly.
Including tonight, every single NFL team in Week 2 has scored a touchdown, except for the Indianapolis Colts. Every team in Week 1 has scored a touchdown, except for the Dallas Cowboys. You root for both. Okay, I'm done.
I just keep laughing over you.
Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. Take back what I said, because Houston didn't score a touchdown either. Houston didn't score a touchdown. They kicked in 3 field goals.
Houston sucks, so.
Okay, take that back what I just said. But still, you root for two teams that anyway. Colts and Jaguars. Colts just looked awful. They looked lost. It's one thing to repeat history for not knowing how to play. And TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida.
Speaking of which, I am going to TIAA Bank Field in December to see the Cowboys take on the Jaguars.
But it's another thing to throw 3 interceptions. Colts have thrown 3 interceptions. Matt Ryan has thrown 3 interceptions, hasn't scored a touchdown, not even put a single point on the field. They've been in the red zone before. This game, I saw bits and pieces of them, and every single time I turned on the Colts game, the Colts were in the red zone. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing because I was back and forth looking at doing other things. But every single time I turned on this game, the Colts were in the red zone. And they had 0 points to show for it. They couldn't even kick a single field goal.
Can we have a moment of silence for the Colts?
No. Let's not have a moment of silence because the Colts had all game for that.
Jesus, man.
I'm sorry. Let me say that wrong. I just said that wrong. Colts went the entire game silent. Moving on to the next game. The Miami Dolphins versus the Baltimore Ravens.
Who did I pick?
You picked the Ravens. I picked the Ravens. We were both wrong. Logan is not in town today. He's not in Jacksonville, Florida, so he wasn't able to hop on. He actually is taking a road trip further up north. Got that game right. By the way, quick stat for you. Since 2011, there have been a total of 122 games where an NFL team has been trailing by 21 points or more. This is the first game out of all of that where that team that was trailing by 21 points ended up winning.
Always bet on the underdog. Always. Well, except if it's for the Jets.
Miami Dolphins ended up going 2-0. They ended up with the W. Next game they play is very, very interesting because not only did they put up a lot of points, but they're playing against a team that's putting up a lot of points right now, Buffalo Bills. They're in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left to go.
We had the Bills, didn't we?
41-7, and we both picked the Bills. Actually, all 3 of us picked the Bills. Josh Allen is probably saving my fantasy league, but I doubt it because I'm so behind.
Actually, the Bills are up 41-7.
They are up 41-7. But the point is, Bills are putting up a lot of points, just like the Miami Dolphins did.
This Vikings game is more interesting.
And that's not even close either. Vikings were only able to put up one touchdown.
But it's still the third quarter.
It's still the third quarter. I get that. But the Vikings are looking lost. Let's get back on track real quick. After the Dolphins and Ravens game, next up is the game that you wanted to talk about. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints.
I had the Buccaneers on this one, correct?
Yes, you did. Logan and I did not. We both picked the New Orleans Saints, and we were both wrong. $20 to 10 was the final score.
So what's my record right now?
I will say one thing. About this. I think it would have been a very, very different outcome if Alvin Kamara and Melvin Ingram were both healthy. They did not have their starting running backs healthy in this game. And we didn't know that either one of these two guys were going to be out. We didn't know until Sunday before heading into this.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
Is a certain team didn't even have their starting quarterback, nor didn't have one of their starting receivers.
Oh, gosh.
Nor one of their tight ends and still won.
Oh, gosh. Okay. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Because one of our tight ends got injured in the fourth quarter.
Your record right now is let me count it real quick. So you're 5-3 as of this point. You're 5-3 with the games that you got wrong were Colts, Jaguars, Dolphins, Ravens, and Giants, Panthers.
All right, so I'm 5-3.
5-3.
And what are you?
Oh, hold on, let me count this again.
Sorry, I'm jotting all this down.
3-4. Wait, hold on. I did this wrong. Because how are you 5-3 and I'm 3-4?
So you must be 3-5.
You're 4-3, not 5-3. I did this wrong. Because it's 7 games we just talked about.
And yours?
So you're 4-3. I'm 3-4.
And Logan's?
He is also 4-3.
All right, jotted it down so far.
Because him and I were unison on every single one of these picks except for that Dolphins-Ravens game. All right. Do you want to go into the next game, or are you still ready?
I jotted everything down. I'm good.
Okay. Lions versus Commanders.
Who did I pick?
I think you picked.
I think I picked the Lions.
I know. I remember my pick. I remember Logan's pick. We both picked the Lions. I don't remember yours. But I think you're right. I think all three of us, we had the same pick. But I'm going to say one thing. I said this. I've been saying this really all off season. Ever since they got their new head coach, Detroit Lions are a quarterback away from having a top 10 offense in the league. Their biggest
I think they're top maybe 13 offense in the league.
Their biggest issue right now is that even with 17 people on the field, they can't stop a single penny.
What do you mean?
I said they can't even stop a single penny. And obviously exaggerating because
the Lions defense is just literally just remove everything and there you go.
just think about this. They're basically a broken fence that only has the metal poles. That only has the fence post. You see where I'm coming up with this analogy?
What is it?
They're basically a broken fence that all they really have is the fence post.
Okay, that I can agree with.
Yeah. Lions ended up beating the Commanders 36-27. But let's just say the fence analogy that I was saying was fully intact and fully working for the first half of this game. Commanders tried to come back up with this upset, but Commanders tried to have this comeback victory. Almost got it, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And I'm kind of worried with this defense because next up, and I'm saying that, and they're looking awful right now, but at the same time, the Vikings are playing in a primetime game. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this, except Lions are playing against the Vikings, who has one of the best wide receivers in this league, also has one of the best running backs in this league. It's going to be a little bit scary for Detroit.
I think the Lions are very scary this year.
Next game, Seahawks versus 49ers.
Didn't I pick the 49ers?
You picked the 49ers. I felt like 49ers were a better team on paper, but because of their history lately, I picked the Seahawks to win this game because that's usually what has happened.
So you remember that I picked the 49ers.
You picked the 49ers. Logan and I picked the Seahawks.
Let me update the notepad. Okay, so I am now 6-3. Nate, you are 5 for 4, right?
Yeah, 5 to 4.
And then Logan is also 5 for 4.
No. You and Logan have the same record.
Oh, we did?
I think. No, never mind. I did the math wrong.
Okay, updated it.
Okay. Seattle, this is a very different game. Basically, when Trey Lance got hurt, it was a very different game.
This whole season's different.
His entire season is different, yes, because Trey Lance will be out for the remaining season. Now, I want to say one thing before we talk about what happened during this game. The San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance is now going to year 3 in the NFL with little to none football experience on his belt. He didn't play that much in college. I don't remember where he went, but he did not play that much in college. He took a year off because of COVID. He decided to take a step out because he did want to be exposed to COVID. And so he still gets drafted. still gets drafted very high. And, I can understand why Trey did what he did. But when it comes to his draft stock, why did San Francisco take this guy way up high?
That, my friend, we may never know.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Shanahan is basically like Bill Belichick with Tom Brady. Kyle Shanahan to Jimmy Garoppolo is like Bill Belichick with Tom Brady. He doesn't get a lot of wins with other quarterbacks, but this duo, Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo duo, has taken this team to a Super Bowl one year, has taken this team to an NFC Conference Championship another. Geno Smith starts the second game and just
took a fat shit like Lamar Jackson last year. Running into the restroom, then winning the game.
Seattle fans who are watching this right now, I'm sorry. But that was just off.
Sorry, Seattle fans, but I hate y'all.
Next game up.
Is our boy John Suggs still in here?
Did he just comment? He said that Trey Lance played at North Dakota State. Yeah. Lions were third in rushing, tied in second in points, and passing. They're in 20th.
Hey, bud. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, he's still in here. John is still in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game up on this show is a game that not only did I get right, we all did, first off. All three of us got this game right.
Let me update this. Hold on.
All three of us got this right. This is the Rams and the Falcons. But I got the score right on this game. I was only off on one thing on this game. It's pretty big, but I was only off on one thing in this game. The LA Rams ended up beating the Atlanta Falcons 31-27. Rams had the home field advantage, but
the Falcons blew another lead, essentially.
No. Well, blew as in... Yeah, they
never had it.
No, they never had it. They never had this game. I thought they were going to. I thought they were going to have a big lead heading into the half. But the Rams had a big lead. The Falcons were down at one point, 28-3. People were all over social media posting the score and saying that unfortunately, the Falcons are on the other side of this situation.
And they still lose.
And they still ended up losing. They still ended up losing. And my favorite part about this game is that I got the score right. There were a lot of comebacks, but there were two almost comebacks in this game. Now the question is, actually, before we say this, so do you have that all down? All three of us picked the Rams?
Yes.
Okay.
Want to know the records?
No, I don't want to know records yet.
I'm 7-3.
I just said I don't want to know the records.
You're tied.
What?
You're tied, actually.
Okay.
And Logan is 6-4.
Next game up. Nobody got this right.
You sure?
No one did.
What was it?
The Las Vegas Raiders were up 20-0 over the Arizona Cardinals at one point and only scored a field goal later. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals 29-23. We all picked the Raiders to win. All three of us. No one got this game right.
This is what John Suggs said. If Jalen Ramsey didn't get that miracle at INT with 1 minute left and the Falcons won, people would be questioning the Rams.
I think people are still questioning the Rams. I think people are still questioning the Rams.
The Rams are a questionable team. Want to know who else is a questionable team, my friend?
Talk about that later.
Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
That's not where I was going, but okay. Next game up. We talked about this team earlier today with the Broncos-Seahawks game. The Denver Broncos ended up beating the Houston Texans. This game was so embarrassing.
It was boring.
This game was so embarrassing that the Denver Broncos fans literally counted out loud the play clock because Nathaniel Hackett couldn't figure it out himself.
Who did we pick for the game?
You and Logan picked the Broncos. I picked the Texans.
Updating the record now.
There was one more game that you and I and Logan got all wrong.
What was it?
But we'll wait.
What's the next game? Come on, buddy. Spill the beans.
The Dallas Cowboys beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
I called it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Logan and I both picked the Bengals. And okay, the Cincinnati Bengals look like a Cinderella team, and they start off. Okay, I heard an analogy earlier this morning that I thought it was funny, but it seems to be very accurate. The Cincinnati Bengals look like a Cinderella team, and Cinderella realized the clock was actually 12:06, and they are trying to figure out where the glass slipper went. Where Prince Charming was trying to look out and try to find where the glass slipper went, and nobody could figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that's 100% true.
But can we talk about the other side of the football for a minute?
I will in a second. They got one member on their offensive line that was a significant upgrade for the Cincinnati Bengals. Everywhere else on that offensive line just looked like they got a piece of raw meat out of a grocery store and forgot to cook it.
That was the Bengals for you.
That was just terrible. Terrible game.
But
I'll talk about the Cowboys, but I'm going to give your thoughts.
Okay. Care to give me a little hot take on this? A little sizzle dazzle?
I can give you this.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know me, I'm the biggest Cowboys fan on the ASAP network. Now hear me out.
But okay.
Vander Esch and Michael Pearsons. Oh my God. Those two defenders are easily going to be one of the best, are going to help create one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. And it's easily to say, we prevented a choke honestly, because I figured we were going to choke it around the third quarter. You know how that game was, especially when the Bengals had their longest drive since 2001. Nate, I bet you didn't know that.
No, I didn't actually.
That's a fact for you. The Bengals had their longest drive since 2001 between the third and fourth quarter. But once the Cowboys got the ball back to end the possession, basically one of the last very few possessions of the game, oh my god, the Cowboys just started clicking on offense, especially getting about to the 40 to the 50-yard line. Well, actually to the 40 to 30, I think. Noah Brown, I'm going to give a shout out to you. I think you are an underrated wide receiver, and we need to pay more attention to Noah Brown. And Cooper Rush, I am so sorry for all that shit I've talked about you, especially with me saying bad things. Now I realize you do have an arm, and I think you could be a good quarterback. Even over Dak Prescott, I think Dak Prescott would be better on the sideline this year, so that way he can rest his thumb. And since Cooper Rush is still young, I'd much rather prefer him to see him get his chance in the league. And so far, he's proven a lot of haters wrong.
Wow, I did not see that coming at all.
And CeeDee Lamb, shout out to you. You are one of the best short route runners in the NFL. That was an incredible game, especially all around. Defense, here's a little note for you. Whenever you're in the third quarter feeling tired, feel free to take a timeout, drink a little bit of water, huddle for a minute, then get your asses back on the field. Because I don't want to see what happened in the third quarter ever again. And for Cooper Rush, please do not stall our offense. That's all I'm going to say. Especially when we have 2 or 3 drives where it's just continuous stall and ended us punting the ball. We couldn't even get past our 50-yard line. That's pretty much all I have.
I had a lot to say on this Dallas Cowboys team because you and I definitely have different opinions on this. But now you left me speechless when you said that you think Dak Prescott should sit on the sideline this year.
In reference to what I mean is, I think Dak Prescott would be better off helping and advising a certain Cooper Rush.
No, I don't agree with that.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teams in the NFL. Actually, I'm gonna give you just a quick analogy. What happened to Geno Smith for the Seattle Seahawks when they played the San Francisco 49ers? How did you see that? How did you see his performance in this game?
Not that good, honestly.
Exactly. Geno Smith had a great game against Denver. But even the terrible quarterbacks will once in a while have one really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Osweiler, when we had him, he had a really good game against the Indianapolis Colts, but the rest of the season just went terrible. Joe Flacco had a really good game against the Cleveland Browns.
Also, Suggs said before that, don't worry, 2026 will be Dallas's year to win it all for their 30th anniversary. LOL, maybe Jerry Jones will be out of the picture. We're not going to get into that.
You know that meme? Actually, I will say this. You know that meme where you compare 2 guys that look very different, say they're the same picture? Corporate wants you to figure out the differences between these 2 guys, these 2 pictures. And there's that one girl from The Office that says that they're the same picture.
Hmm?
You know that meme?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jerry Jones and Vince McMahon. That's all I have to say.
Jerry Jones to Cam Newton instead of
No, I didn't say Cam Newton. I said Vince McMahon, WWE.
Oh. Do you really think Vince McMahon could buy out the Dallas Cowboys at one point?
No, he's retired.
Good.
He left WWE. Triple H is now running that thing.
And don't forget Vince also did XFL for a little bit.
Yeah, look what happened both times.
No, that was COVID.
Oh, second time, but they both times they had to get rid of that thing.
Guess who's the owner at the XFL right now?
Put the exit. Okay, The Rock. Yeah, not
Yeah.
man. All right. Where was I? Oh,
You're back
yes,
on the Cowboys game.
Dallas game.
You could zoom out my hot take if you want.
Dallas Cowboys against the. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Dallas Cowboys against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's just say Dallas didn't win that game. Micah Parsons won that game. There are very few pieces on that Dallas defense that I really like. The rest?
I can name the 3 pieces I think you like the most.
Who?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
No.
Parsons and Vander East.
Yes, to both. I don't agree with DeMarcus Lawrence.
What you read for
Cowboys
Armstrong?
are really good at coming after the quarterback. Only when look at game 1. Look at week 1. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
No. Hold on. Just, I'm not going to say a lot about this game. Week 1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas was able to go after Tom Brady, but that's because the entire offensive line in that game was just out, hurt, injured. They had a really good game, and even with a fully healthy offensive line, I still feel like that they were able to go out there and perform. It showed with a lack of an offensive line, and same with Cincinnati. Cincinnati, again, like I said, only has one piece that I really like on their offensive line. One person. That was really big improvement. The rest is just feels like a raw chicken that you forgot to cook out of a grocery store.
Also, I have a bit of an update for you today that I just heard earlier this morning.
What?
It's about Dalton Schultz, the tight end for the Cowboys.
Okay.
Can we just please get a moment of silence for him because his PCL has been injured on his knee.
Unlike the Indianapolis Colts, the Cowboys weren't actually silent in this game, so okay, we'll do it.
Yeah. Let's take a 30-second moment of silence. That is all. We are going to the Super Bowl.
Anyway.
I do think we are, though.
Dallas. Week 1, Bucks had a terrible offensive line. Week 2, Bengals had a terrible offensive line. I think the Giants have a much better offensive line than the Cincinnati Bengals and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my God! Did you see what John Sugg said? Can we bring him on? Can we please bring him on?
Okay, let's do.
We need to bring him on here.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just do this.
Damian Hernandez says Eagles are winning the East.
I agree with Damian actually on this.
I can actually agree with that. Yes, please don't hop on here.
So, I think next the Giants have a much better offensive line, and it's not that close. I mean, it would be if Tampa had a fully healthy offensive line, but they don't. Now,
Tampa does have a pretty good receiving core.
They
I'll
do,
be honest.
but not next week. Chris Godwin might be hurt. We don't know what's going to go on with him. He might be playing. That's really goes on day to day. Mike Evans, he's suspended. Even though
Mike Evans got suspended?
Yep, he got suspended because he started a fight with Marshawn Lattimore against this in the Saints game. So he's only going to be gone for one game, but yes, he is suspended. So now let's go into the last game. The only other game where the three of us got.
Wait a minute. Do I need to edit the record again?
Well, Bengals, Logan and I got that wrong. You got the Cowboys-Bengals game right. Okay. Last but not least, Packers-Bears.
I picked the Packers.
You're right, you did. I thought all three of us got it. Actually, you picked the Packers towards the end of the week. But when we did this show, you picked the Bears. I remember this conversation, actually. While we were doing this show, you picked the Chicago Bears. But you changed your pick throughout the week.
Yeah.
So, should we count that?
What do you guys think?
I don't think we should. But
yeah, I don't think we should either.
Chicago Bears, they looked terrible. I think throughout this week, throughout week 1 and week 2,
who did you pick?
There was a lot of I picked the Bears. And so did Logan. Throughout the week, I think Green Bay worked on a lot of team building activities because the connection between receiver and quarterback just wasn't there. Now, to be fair, most of his guys are third string or rookies. But it just wasn't there when they played Minnesota. This game it was, but Chicago's defense is just, I don't want to talk about that. Next week for the Bears, they go up against the Houston Texans. So it's not really.
Do you think it's almost time to do the picks?
And I think we should. But you go. That's where your segment is because you have the thing set on your notepad.
All right, you can go first. I have the schedule pulled up on Google.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Who do you got?
I think Pittsburgh is really good at pressuring the quarterback, just like Dallas is. So expect Pittsburgh to start off scoring early. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that this is going to be a blowout. I got Pittsburgh, say, 2016.
So you think Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, I'm picking Steelers.
All right, your pick has been added. I am also going to go ahead and pick the Steelers because of Mitchell Trubisky.
Buffalo Bills. Oh wait, yeah, you're supposed to say that.
All right. Sunday. We are going to begin in order from the first time. Houston Texans versus the Chicago Bears.
Oh, your order and my order are definitely different.
Yeah, my order.
Okay, Houston Texans versus the Chicago Bears. This one is just going to be ugly. Expect a very, very low scoring game. I think Chicago. I'm probably going to pick Chicago. Houston, their defense just didn't look that great. To be fair, Russ was playing for the Denver Broncos. I might be. This is a back and forth one.
I think Davis Mills is going to pull it out, though. So, if anything, I'm going for Houston.
I'm going back and forth. Computer. Alexa. Heads or tails?
Okay. Heads.
Okay, Houston.
All right, me and you both took Houston Texans. Next game, Detroit Lions versus Minnesota Vikings. I'm actually going with Detroit just because of that offense, especially now.
Yes, that offense is amazing. You know, look at their tight end receiving core. They can score. That we've known since week 1. They can score. But Minnesota has the same thing. And although Minnesota has not been able to show that.
But Minnesota may have a better defense than Detroit.
Excuse me.
Like
Detroit
you say.
cannot stop a single penny.
And you go back to your fence thing.
I gotta go Minnesota. Expect this game to be a little bit higher scoring, but I gotta go Minnesota on this.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and give a score. I probably should do this on all of them. Texans, Bears 16-13, and Detroit, Minnesota. 40-35.
I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I'm feeling extremely good about the Lions this season. Next game, Las Vegas Raiders versus the Tennessee Titans.
Where's Tennessee? Where is he? Where are they?
That I can agree with. I'm pretty sure the Raiders are going to win, especially after their performance yesterday.
Okay, they're playing the Bills. They're playing the Bills, but they have not been able to show up.
I'm going to go with the Raiders.
They weren't able to show against the New York Giants either, to be fair. Well, maybe in the beginning, sure, but Giants pulled it off, came back.
I don't really know too much on the Vikings, Texans, or like any other team,
but
Raiders, I know a lot about the Cowboys.
The Raiders ended up choking to Arizona Cardinals.
I don't think that choke will happen this week.
I don't think so either. I think that this might be a little bit closer, but I think I like Las Vegas Raiders' firepower, offensive firepower, just not a little bit, but a whole lot better. I'm going to go 42-21. Raiders.
All right. Next game on the list.
Wait. Did you say your pick?
I said Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next game on the list. The Baltimore Ravens versus the New England Patriots.
Again, this is all about the firepower. New England doesn't have a lot.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore on this, especially when you have a
Baltimore
player
can
like
run.
Lamar
They
Jackson.
can run, and their defense, even though it hasn't been able to show up against Miami, especially towards that fourth quarter. Well, first 3 quarters it was. Fantasy points wise, I did really well in the first 3 quarters for picking Baltimore. Fourth quarter, I don't know what happened, but I don't think that you're going to have this as a repeat. I'm picking Baltimore as well.
All right. So this is what we have so far. Nate, Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings, Las Vegas Raiders, and Baltimore Ravens. Cole, Houston Texans, Detroit Lions, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Baltimore Ravens.
All right.
Next game on the
We
list.
actually so far we have one game that's different. Minnesota and Detroit.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts.
I
I'm going to
think,
go with the Chiefs.
I don't see how the Chiefs can lose.
The Chiefs have, just especially when they still have like Travis Kelce, they still have some pieces of their offense from last year. They don't have a whole lot like they used to, but they still have some. I think the
And
Chiefs
yet
will
they
take
still
it.
put up 42 points against the Cardinals. Chargers have a little bit of a better defense than the Cardinals do. I don't see how the Colts could win this.
Think it'll be a tank
I'm gonna
pull?
go 42-7.
So you're going with Kansas City?
I'm going Kansas City, and this one's not gonna be close.
All right, I added it. Next game on the list: the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm gonna have to go with the Saints on this one.
I gotta go with my gut. I gotta trust my gut on this. We still don't know where Alvin Kamara is. He going to play this game? We don't know if Carolina.
But they still have Jameis Winston.
Yeah, they still have Jameis Winston, but I gotta trust my gut. I'm picking Carolina. 24-17.
You're going with Carolina Baker Mayfield?
With Baker Mayfield, yeah. Carolina gets their first win.
All right. Next game on the list: Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins.
This one is exciting.
No, this one's gonna be an ass beating.
No, I don't. I can't agree.
I think this one's gonna be an ass beating. I'm going with Buffalo.
I could see why you say that. I could see Dolphins putting up some points, though. I think Dolphins are going to put up more points than the Rams and put up more points than the Titans did. I gotta go. I'm picking the Bills, but only by 2 touchdowns. Go 45-31.
All right. This is what I have, just to make sure. Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings, Las Vegas Raiders, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, Carolina Panthers, and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And then I have Houston Texans, Detroit Lions, Las Vegas Raiders, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, and the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
All right. Next game on the list: Cincinnati Bengals versus the New York Jets. I'm going to trust my gut again, especially with Zach Wilson. I'm going with the Jets.
That's where you just. It wasn't Zach Wilson that played in this last game.
Who was it?
It was Joe Flacco.
Then yeah, I'll go with Flacco in the Jets.
I think it's going to be the Jets. I think it's going to be a closer game. Well, actually, that's not saying much because the other two games were close. I think whoever wins is going to win by a field goal, but I don't trust that offensive line. I got to go with the Jets to 23-20.
All right. I already went ahead and put up both of us as the Jets. All right, game number 9. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders.
Eagles next.
Eagles. I just trust their defense of the Eagles.
I am the same way.
All right, I went ahead and put Philadelphia Eagles.
But if I have to give a score, 38,
be close.
31, 38-31.
Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm putting my gut and I'm trusting Justin Herbert. So I'm going to go with the Chargers.
I think this one is going to be close. And I say that because is Justin Herbert going to be Justin Herbert? Or is Justin Herbert going to be Justin Herbert? And yes, I'm stealing that from somebody else, but I have no idea who.
All right.
Chargers have the home field advantage, but it's the Chargers. That's not really going to say much. They play against Jacksonville. This might seem close depending on how healthy is Justin going to be. Jacksonville pulled off just a big win against the Colts.
Who do you think's going to win?
My head and my gut are telling me two different things. My gut is going with Jacksonville.
Flip a coin.
My gut is going with Jacksonville, but my head is telling me the Chargers.
So which one are you doing? Flip a coin, man. All right, heads you go with Jacksonville, tails you go with Chargers.
Computer, Alexa, pick heads or tails. Alexa, heads or tails?
Okay, flipping. It's tails.
Chargers. Heads going with Chargers, so.
I mean, you both have the Chargers.
I think that's going to be a safer choice anyways. Is Justin Herbert going to be playing in this game? So, I got to go with the Chargers. If you're going with the head prediction, I can see Jaguars scoring like 21 points. No, I don't think it's going to be that hard now that I think about it. 14.
A lot of people are saying the Jags in the chat. One Jaguars says Chargers. In the chat.
I mean, I can see why, but I really like the Chargers defense.
I really like the Chargers offense just because of Herbert. All right, Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. My gut, especially with is it Aaron Darnold or Sam Darnold?
Aaron Darnold?
Yeah, Aaron Darnold.
Sam Darnold's with the Panthers, but he's hurt.
Yeah. Aaron Darnold, I think it's going to kick the living crap out of Arizona.
I agree with you.
I think that the Rams are going to do it, especially with Matthew Stafford. This is my biggest
upset pick of the week. I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right.
The Bills and the Falcons were able to expose that left side of the field where Jalen Ramsey is playing.
So you're going with the Cardinals?
I'm going with the Cardinals because if you put up Marquise Brown facing against Jalen Ramsey, I gotta go with the Cardinals. And
all right.
John is saying Cardinals by 2. I'm going to go by 3, but yeah, I think he has the right idea.
We have 3 games left for Sunday. Then we have to do Monday night.
No, not Monday night. We're gonna do Monday.
I have Monday night already added.
No,
Though.
okay, let's do Monday because, but we still haven't finished the show, and Monday Night Football's almost over. So let's do Monday.
Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks. I don't trust the Falcons at all to hold a lead anymore. I just don't. Especially with that 28-3 curse. I think the Seahawks are going to win.
Seahawks. I know, but it's the Seahawks. And the Falcons, both in the Saints game and in the Rams game, were able to expose the weakness for the team's defenses. And I think Atlanta's going to do the same thing.
You think Atlanta's going to win?
I don't see Atlanta getting very many wins this year, but I think this is going to be one of them. I'm going to go Atlanta 17-7.
Okay. 2 more games down to go on Sunday. Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going with the GOAT, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Especially when you have a receiving core.
This game is going to be ugly, just like I said.
Yes.
Just like I said for the Buccaneers Cowboys game. This game is going to be very ugly.
Especially when you have a very healthy Julio Jones.
Expect more interceptions than usual. Mike Evans, he's suspended. We don't know what to expect from Chris Godwin. Julio is probably going, which means Julio Jones is probably going to be a leading receiver in this game.
Yes.
Offensive line, that
offensive line is steady.
Green Bay, on the other hand, is having the same issue going on with their receivers, but their offensive line is better. Green Bay's defense is better. I'm going with Green Bay.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I think it's going to be very ugly, but Green Bay pulls this off 21-20. 1-point game.
All right, the last game of the night. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Denver Broncos.
Actually,
I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Hold on, real quick. Before we say that, Julio Jones is not going to be in this game. Julio's ruled out. Yeah. So I'm definitely going with the Packers. Show's not over, so I'm gonna give that to you.
All right, I'm changing it to the Packers. Even though my gut's telling me Buccaneers, I think Packers are going to pull it off.
And McCollum's also out.
How the hell?
All of them because of injury, except for Mike Evans, who is suspended for a game.
How did all of them get injured?
Don't know. Everybody seems to be getting hurt for the Bucs. I made this a joke.
Kind of like the Cowboys of 2020.
I made this as a joke, but now as time is going on, I honestly believing it's a reality. Every time somebody on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers makes a step forward, it seems like somebody's getting hurt.
Nate, you want to know something else? This show right here is the king of jinxes. We're known for jinxing.
And then what do you say about the Denver Broncos versus the 49ers game?
I'm going to trust my gut, and I'm going to go with Denver just because I think Russell Wilson would have a good performance.
I agree for the last part you just said. Russell Wilson will have a good performance, will gain the yards that he needs. He's going to gain a lot of yards. Denver is home field. Yes, I see that.
Come on, Nate, you're a Broncos fan.
This is prime time. And yes, I am wearing my Broncos.
And I have a Dallas Cowboys avatar.
I'm wearing... I have a former Broncos player on the back of my shirt. I am a Broncos fan. I don't like when people are saying, or I don't like when fans are being realistic and people are going out there saying that you're not a real fan of this team because you don't think they're going to win this game. I hate it when people do that. But
It can get annoying.
that being said, I don't think I don't think they're going to. If
So you're going with
Trey
the San
Lance is
Francisco
playing,
49ers.
I'm going with the 49ers. I'm going to go 20-10 or 20-7. 27.
LCU, sir.
I'll give you the same score that the 49ers when they played the Seattle.
LCU, sir, Sunday night.
Denver cannot seem to control. Nathaniel Hackett cannot seem to control the play clock. They're not good They're not good in the red zone.
Whoa, Nate, you said something else for a minute. Hold that thought.
What?
I heard you say something else.
I think I know what you think I said, but
I'll type it to you. You said. That's what I thought you said.
Terrible. No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I did not say that.
That's what I thought you said.
I don't think the Broncos are going. I don't think the Broncos will win this game, and I don't even think it.
Okay, so you have opposite picks that game.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but Jimmy Garoppolo's playing, and the 49ers are a much better team with Garoppolo at quarterback.
All right, Monday Night Football time. Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Girls. Who do you got?
I'm agreeing with John Suggs there. Giants.
Sorry, John Suggs. I don't think you're right.
I'm agreeing with John Suggs there. I think it's going to be Giants in the upset.
I'm going with Dallas Cowboys.
Giants
I'm loyal to my team.
are much better. Let's just pretend you did not say that.
What?
You're loyal to your team, so you're picking your team to win, where I don't see how they can.
Plus, Dallas does have a good offense behind it.
Let me just check something real quick.
And Dallas does have a good defense.
Okay, New York Giants is home. I'm definitely going New York.
Sorry, Nate. I'm going with Dallas.
Really, there's one position on their defense, and that's the linebacker, where I think New York has, where I think Dallas has a better position on their defense, like a better position. Everywhere else, I think New York, cornerback, New York, safety, New York. Dallas is not.
I know, John Suggs. But they still did well in the fourth quarter without Schultz. I mean, we still had Noah Brown. We have Ferguson.
Dallas has
Damian
no wide
Hernandez.
receivers.
We do have wide receivers.
CeeDee Lamb, but that's it.
No, not if Michael Gallup suddenly comes back.
I don't know if he will.
I'm keeping a very close eye on him.
I'm going to go New York, say 27-17.
I'm going with Dallas because Noah Brown proved his worth. Especially if our defense can hold against New York.
And then last but not least, well, that just sums it up for the NFL.
Now we have the TCU versus SMU game. All right. Want to know my prediction?
TCU versus SMU. That already happened. I thought that was last week.
No, it's this week. All right, let me get a moment. Saturday, September 24th is when the Horned Frogs take on the Mustangs. And it'll be in Mockingbird, Dallas. So I could treat this as another home game. Sorry, John Suggs. I think Oregon is terrible. All right, so my prediction is TCU is going to win. I think Max Duggan is going to start putting up more passing yards than usual. My prediction is Max Duggan is going to get about 225 passing yards. Just that game alone, especially when we have SMU's old coach. He knows a little bit about SMU's playbook, so we should be okay with the coverage and everything. I think it'll be extremely helpful.
Yeah, I can see that. So I'm looking at TCU's schedule right now. They're 2-0 right now, beating Colorado and Charlton. They didn't play last week, but next week's gonna be rough. Next 3 weeks, actually. I'm gonna say that right now. Next 3 weeks is gonna be rough for you guys.
TCU?
Yeah, for TCU.
Can we get a big F in the chat?
Big F in the what?
Chat. Like F for respect. You never seen that meme before?
No, I have, but I just saw that. No, I just saw the chat real quick. We'll talk about that in a second. TCU. I'm gonna look at the schedule real quick. They play SMU, but next week you guys play Oklahoma, who is ranked and undefeated. Kansas, who is undefeated, not ranked but still undefeated, and then Oklahoma State, who is ranked and also I think they're also undefeated. Yeah, they're 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going with my Horned Frogs on this.
Kansas Jayhawks ended up beating Houston.
That's because Houston sucks.
True. All right. Last but not least, BYU had an embarrassing loss.
To Oregon last week. I was actually watching that game a little bit.
Think of it like this. Think of BYU and Oregon like the LA Rams and Atlanta Falcons. Not on their history. BYU's not known to choke. But they were starting to score in the fourth quarter. Not really, I wouldn't say it still wasn't close, but they were keeping things somewhat interesting. They scored a touchdown to make it so where the 20 points scored. Tried to go for 2, didn't work. And then BYU tried to go for score 2 more touchdowns. Basically, they lost. And it was embarrassing. I don't think BYU can make it to the playoffs as of this point because Oregon had an embarrassing loss to Georgia, and we just lost to Oregon. Oregon can't make it to the playoffs, but at this point, I think any team that Oregon beats also can't make it to the playoffs anymore. I am looking at the college football rankings, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with at all. I usually don't. But Oregon is now moved up from 25 to 15 because they beat us. Now, where I'm kind of curious is How did Washington come up here? They were not ranked until this week.
To the world of mysteries in college football, my friend. The world of mysteries.
Oh, that makes more sense now.
What?
Washington beat Michigan State. That is why they're ranked now.
I bet you if Washington fans are probably rioting on the streets for victory.
That is probably why, because Washington beat Michigan State. They beat Kent State in week 1, 45-20. They beat Portland State in week 2, 52-6. And they beat Michigan State in week 3, 39-28.
That ain't bad. Can Washington be a sleeper team this year?
Maybe.
Stay tuned to find out, folks.
Look at their schedule. It's easy. They have 2 games where I can see a potential loss, but it's actually, I take that back. They have 3. I can see 3 games where it would be a potential loss. In 3 weeks, they play Arizona State. Then they play Oregon, and then they play Oregon State. Actually, the week before they play Oregon.
All right, is that all for tonight?
That is all.
Any final roll some ads real quick?
Before, any final thoughts? Then I will ads, and then we'll close. Turn off the stream. What are your final thoughts before we give this close?
Week 2 of NFL was definitely one of the most exciting weeks in football, and I think everybody could agree. College football is still a bit weird, like everything is normal for college football. But man, I'm focusing more on NFL, especially with how exciting things are.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when every single team made an improvement over the offseason.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say every single team.
Cough Jets.
No, Jets I thought was one of them that actually improves. I wouldn't say they improved by free agency, but by draft, I would say they did. But I do think Dallas did improve.
Dallas was perfect the way it is.
No, they lost Amari Cooper.
But we do have a receiver in Noah Brown.
Don't think I think they're going to be embarrassed. I don't think anymore that the Colts improved throughout this.
John Suggs says Seattle didn't improve.
Seattle didn't improve. You're right.
Green Bay didn't improve.
Green Bay, yep. There's a lot of teams. But there's a lot that did improve. And there's a lot that did both. Didn't improve. They got worse, but got better. And I can think of one team that got better on paper, but got worse because of their coaching staff. And that is the Denver Broncos.
All right. I suppose that is all. Roll the ads.
Rolling the ads right now.
Shanig, man. Fuck with ASAP Sports Network, man. Tune in, stay logged in, stay mobbed in. You dig? Yuck mouth. Yada da. Boy!
Yeah, check this out, man. It's your boy, Young Dro. I'm in the building with ASAP Sports, man. If you ain't here, you ain't nowhere, man. As soon as possible, get here. You dig?
Shanig, man. Fuck with ASAP.
Hey, what's up? This is your girl Carolina T from The Sports Dime on 9:30 a.m. The Answer in San Antonio. I'm just here chilling in Texas Hill Country, taking my evening stroll. But before I wrap that up, I want to let y'all know that I will be with my friends at All Sports, All Plays, ASAP Wednesday evening. We're going to be talking about everything. It seems like they want to talk to me about everything, so I don't know what we're going to get into, but I'm sure we're going to get into a lot and we're going to have a blast. So make sure you guys tune in to All Sports, All Plays, ASAP. Now I'm going to enjoy my evening stroll. Good night.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.